Hey folks, I'm Rob.
And I'm Nathan.
And we are Two Guys in a Ride. Today we're excited to bring you another virtual car show featuring the garages, collections, and owners out at the Chanhassen Autoplex.
The Chanhassen Autoplex features a monthly summer car show the last Saturday of every month from April through September. Unfortunately, due to current circumstances, the May in-person car show has been canceled.
Well, that's where we come in. The good folks over at the Autoplex invited us to film several garages and see the collections and meet the owners. That's where we're headed right now.
But before we do, every month the Autoplex gives back to a different charity. And this month's charity recipient is Happy Tails Rescue of Minnesota.
Happy Tails is a non-profit organization dedicated to rescuing homeless and abandoned animals.
By working with committed volunteers, foster homes, local veterinarians, trainers, and boarding facilities, they are able to rescue dogs and cats, providing them with loving temporary care until a well-matched and carefully screened forever home can be found.
So please consider making a donation at tailsrescue.org.
Also, give us a like and click on the subscribe button down below and ring the bell notification so you never miss a video.
That's right. So what do you say, Nate?
Oh, let's go for a ride. Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and today we're out at the Chanhassen Autoplex and we are bringing you some virtual garage tours. And if you haven't seen our first videos, we have 9 other videos that are posted. You can click on the link above and go view those garages, which are really awesome. And one of the fun things about being out at Chanhassen is every garage is unique. And today we're here with Brett. Brett, thank you first of all for letting us come into your garage.
Thanks for coming out.
Let's start a little bit, you know, in addition to collecting some cars and actually for doing some racing that you do, not professionally, but you do it as a hobby.
Yes.
Okay, you're also an artist.
Yes.
So if we take a look at the walls around you, you have got a number of paintings, which we see in other garages, we see some paintings, but the difference here, if I remember correctly, Brett, is that you have done all these pictures.
Yes, I've photoshopped all of them. They all start off as a picture or multiple pictures. I put them together in Photoshop, so it's a digital art giclée print.
Wow, they're just beautiful. I love it. Now, some of these are actually, I'd venture to say, we haven't talked about all of them, but almost all of your pictures, or all of them, are actually from like scenes that you know, like people you know that race.
A lot of them are pictures of people I know that I like to take the pictures myself.
Yep.
Sometimes my car's in there, so I'm driving and somebody else took the picture and gave it to me.
But all the pictures we see there's a personal connection to the picture.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them, right.
And many of them, I do the artwork and then I donate it to our club race charity or some other charities. They get silent auctioned off or occasionally live auction. But so the money is going to a good cause.
That's
so
really great. And now, it's kind of interesting because we've got a Porsche on the left and then we got the Ferrari. So this obviously was a later purchase.
Yes.
So the argument is, you know, if you started with Porsche and then you went to Ferrari, are you slumming, or did you just decide that you wanted something different to drive that wasn't actually a race car?
Well, I had this car and another Porsche that I was driving on the street.
Okay.
And I met this really wonderful lady and we started dating, and she's of Italian heritage, and she kind of looked at the German cars and said, why don't you get something a little prettier or whatever?
There you go.
And so years later I eventually got the Ferrari. And this is a stock car. It's kind of on the lower end. I can't change the motor too much. And there's other cars that are factory race cars.
Okay, so let's talk about your car for a minute. You said it's stocked. Let's clarify what stock is. Tell us about it.
I could take out the interior. I have to put in a roll cage.
Okay.
I can't touch the motor from the intake to the exhaust. So it has headers, no mufflers. If I'd start it up, it'd be really loud.
Okay.
I can adjust the suspension. I can put on up to certain size wheels. But it's really pretty much a old 911 race car. And I've actually been racing this car for 17 years. I've had it 3 years before I raced it, or 2 years before I raced it. And did the slow conversion, and it's got a lot of race patina on it that you'll see, but it's...
Yeah, I love that.
It's been banged up a few times and straightened out and repainted, and...
Man, that is... I can just... That has got to be just an absolute blast to get out there on that track and go. It's almost like a little bit of an adrenaline rush, a little addictive maybe.
It's very addictive. It's a lot of Type A people. We don't get a trophy. We don't get paid.
No, but you have fun doing
but we
it.
get ego.
And it's kind of like being out here at the Chanhassen Autoplex, where you have other people who share a passion for cars.
Yeah.
Your car club has that, and that's that camaraderie that you share.
And it's fun too, because we go all around the country. So I'll go to races and I'll see people from Texas. I have really good friends down in Texas. Well, I see them in Topeka and Nebraska at those races, and it's the only time I get to see them each year.
Yeah.
But we're great friends, and the best races I've had is not so much when I've won, which is really good. But when I have a really good race with someone, even if I'm in the middle of my group, but I'm just wheel to wheel with someone else for the entire race. That just, you get out of the car and you're just high-fiving each other, and that's just, it makes it all worthwhile.
It's an amazing experience, isn't it? All right, so over here, of course, you've got the Ferrari. And so we know why you purchased it. Tell us a little bit about the car itself.
It's a 2012 Ferrari 458, 570 horsepower, 4.5.
So just enough horsepower to get down the driveway.
Yes.
Okay.
It's mid-engined. It sounds great, especially when you get on the gas. Another exhaust opens up, and it just. I don't turn the stereo on in this car. It's got kind of a lousy stereo, but you really don't need it.
What are the driving characteristic differences between your Porsche and the Ferrari?
A rear-engine car can get a little tail happy. If you're going into a corner really fast and you slam on the brakes, it might spin out a little bit.
Okay.
This car might not do that as much because the center of gravity is more in the middle.
For the Ford.
However, this car has so much more torque and power. I took my neighbor out for a ride when I first got it, and I kind of went around a corner and just stepped on it, and the back end, just from torque spin. But I'm used to driving this car, so I caught it and went on. I've had it happen, with a few other people. So I can break the tail loose with it, but it is because it's just a very powerful car.
Obviously, this one is set up for racing, right? Because of the interior and everything, and this one isn't. But do you have a preference? Because you've had some daily driver Porsches too.
Yes, and some newer ones.
Do you have a preference for one or the other, or you think no? These are both. I like them both.
I had a 2006 daily driver 911, and I put it on the racetrack once, and it was fun, and it was kind of in between these cars as far as horsepower and performance, but it was nowhere near as fun as this, because this it's this reckless abandon. I know what it feels like. It's stiff suspension, and I never really wanted to take that other car on the racetrack after that, because this is just so good. But this car, driving it around town, is just a blast. People videotape me or take selfies with it, or at the gas station last week, a guy came up and said, "Oh, my son really loves these. Can I get a picture with him?" And I'm like, "Sure." So.
Yeah, they are a picture-taking car. The lines are absolutely beautiful, just beautiful. You've also got some very interesting motorcycles.
Yeah, I grew up with a street routing father, so I'm kind of used to the custom world. I love motorcycles. I bought this one stock. It came with a lot of chrome, and I wanted to murder it out or make it black.
Yeah.
So I took all the parts off and put those on the wall up here. And it's a really fun bike to ride. It's not a great smooth ride, but I have driven this out to Sturgis and back. And then I did want something more comfortable, so I bought a Road King, and pretty much the only thing stock on there now is the frame and the motor.
It's been completely customized.
Yeah, and I love flames, and I love metal flake, and I wanted kind of the old style, you know, tricolor flames, and yet I put a modern twist to it, put the bigger 23-inch wheel on. And
now, when you had the back end made, you know, did you have this mold made, or was this an option you could actually buy somewhere?
I worked with a builder to help fabricate it, but what we did, or he did, is he took new bags, and then he took a new side pod right here, and then he molded them together by hand.
I was going to wonder, because I've never seen this combination. I mean, it's fun, it's unique. Yeah. And, you know, standing here, I hope it comes out on camera, but I absolutely love the paint.
Yeah, in the sunlight, it just
oh, it's got to be
beautiful.
Incredible. But you're going from an orange to a red, basically.
Yep.
And it's just stunning the way that it just kind of melds one into the other. And oh, that back end. Oh boy, I love that. That is just what a neat look. Back here in your garage, you do have you have a fridge, and you've of course got a TV. And that is actually, folks, that is Brett driving. You belong to a Porsche racing club.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Porsche Club of America is a national group. The racing is a really big part of the club. Kind of a smaller group of us, but there's 25 races a year,
okay.
All around the country. Well, I try to go to 3 or 4. I had 4 scheduled this year.
Okay.
2 have been removed from the calendar. But it's all Porsches on the track.
Okay.
It's full wheel-to-wheel racing, green flag to checkered flag,
okay.
rolling start, road racing, very competitive. All different levels of Porsches though.
So in the back here, you've got kind of a workshop area. So I'm assuming you do some work on your cars.
I do some work. I do some work on them. Like this one, I did. You know, I took off a lot of those parts and put these on. You know, I'm constantly changing brakes or altering something on here. I'm not as much of a mechanic as some people are. I'm more than others, but I'm
well, if you
kind of in the middle.
Your wheels and your brakes and put them back on, you're doing all right.
And a lot of times there's a trailer in the garage here,
okay.
Which is one reason why I have the garage, is just for racing.
Right, because you have to trailer this to get to the races.
Yeah. So this is kind of my workshop, and it's, you know, it's nice and clean right now. Sometimes it's not quite as pulled together.
Yeah, that's all right. It's
and that's one of the great things about these garages is I'll come out here and take something all apart, have all the tools laying out, and then it's time for dinner. I go home, I come back the next day or maybe a week later, and everything is right there. I didn't have to step over it in the garage, get my daily driver out, or have someone say, you know, pick up the mess. So it's really nice having this place.
Space, that working space. Every garage is so unique. So, you know, up here in the loft, one of the things that I like, you know, Brett, you know, you've got the stairs coming up, but then it turns and comes up this way, and you've got a little, you know, like a little cove on that end, which is just unique. We were talking a minute ago about the flags that are in here. So tell us a little bit about the significance of all these flags hanging up.
Each banner is a racetrack that I've raced on, and all except one have a picture of my car, kind of capturing the spirit of that racetrack. So I put those together and just to make it a racing garage.
I love that because you can see all the designs of the racetrack.
Yes.
So then up here, like most other lofts here, you know, you've got a nice, you got an entertainment area where you can relax, kind of away from the work.
And the microwave and coffee is up here.
But it just provides you with a little bit of a getaway. You got a little table to sit at. You know, you got some of the speakers down there, so you have music. And I don't know if we pointed this out before, but next to your Ferrari sign down there, you've got the parts from the black motorcycle downstairs, yes. But there's the original chrome parts.
Right. I took them all off and had them, and I'm like, where do I put these?
You can imagine the wheels in there and the rest of the motor, and I mean, you actually put them in that order. You obviously, you know, well, obviously from your paintings, you have an artistic flair. Now, did you design this outline here of your race car?
I worked with a graphic artist friend of mine. I told him what I wanted, gave him some ideas, and we kind of worked on it together. And he just, all I said was I wanted a logo. I didn't know what I was going to do with the logo. But he gave me the logo, and then I took it from there and cut that out of fiberboard and mounted it up there.
Okay, so that's fiberboard.
Yeah.
That is really neat. You know, I think it's fun when one of the reasons, you know, when I watch videos on YouTube and I'm looking for ideas for my own place, and I love seeing all these unique ideas. Now you got a tire down there that's mounted to the wall.
Yeah, the person that built my motorcycle started making these clocks, so it's actually the same paint job as the Road King.
Okay.
And it's kind of backlit. It doesn't show up so much in this light. But
okay.
That
is just, wow. I like that. That's just really unique.
And then here's a gas tank that I had this project where I was building gas tanks. I just, you know, rather than build a whole motorcycle, I'm like, I'll just paint a gas tank and that'll be my motorcycle or an inspiration for it. So again, I put the 82 on it. I made it kind of a rat rod feel to it.
Yep.
So it was a project that never went any further.
I like it though, because that's physical painting.
Yes.
Which you're obviously just as good at as your digital painting. All right, so out of everything out here, just coming out here, what's your favorite thing about this garage?
Just hanging out here. It's I come out here, I plan to work on the car or work on a project, and I find one of my neighbors is out here and he's working on his, but we end up just sitting there talking and having fun.
I think that's one of the great things about car people. You share that common bond. Even if it's not the same type of cars you collect, you share that same bond, and it creates a really neat social place to be and to have friends. All right, well, thank you again, Brett, once again for having us here.
Okay, thanks.